Okay, let's jump straight into agent select. We do not expect to see many changes, but hey, last time Vitality changed something, and no, we're going to get the mirror compositions. Yes, pound for pound, the Euro versus
on the
Euro,
ISO
the
now.
ISO versus the ISO. As we were saying, Team Heretics is going to be starting on the attack. You're saying that they cannot be stopped, but what about Alpha on his prime form, where he was very close to losing against Navi and saying, I am not losing this?
Hey, if you get... Alfia is one of the few players on the planet that you get him angry and he plays better. Everyone else starts to whiff, get frustrated, but you don't like that man when he's taken a loss because he's so difficult to play against. I know for a fact he's going to come into this seeing a team copy their comp, take aspects of his gameplay and try and beat him, and he's going to want to kick them into the dirt.
And also, don't forget, good saying that he's better an ISO than him.
That is also true.
That is a reason to be mad. There is a reason to just punish
But you could
them.
say the same. Kayak has said the same thing about Miniboo.
Yeah,
so we've got some grudge matches, even though they're all way too friendly for them to be proper grudge matches.
Exactly. Well, Team Heretics is one map away from closing this best of 3 in their favor, getting that first seed and continuing their win streak against Fnatic. Please, guys, take it away and take us to Haven.
This is a lovely little matchup here on this map, Mike. We get the originators of this comp against the ones who can adapt it, overcome, get stronger, get better. But who wins when it really matters? That's what we've got to look at here. Where's your money going? Are you going with the Fnatic, the tried and tested, the Alpha on the ISO? Or do you believe in Heretics on the upswing after map 1? They got to know the ins and outs. Where are you going?
I mean, it's a really tough one to call. I think the one thing to say is obviously Heretics feeling very confident in terms of their ability to put this double duelist to work more. Can Fnatic, I guess, dial into the confidence we've seen, the team synergy we've seen? Everybody, there's not often you talk about the vibes of Fnatic. Oh, hold that thought for the time being. Kayak. What? What?
No way is this.
Give it to him. Give it to him. Give it to him.
Kills. And that was unbelievable. Blink and you miss it. I hope you were sat down and locked in, because we've got to run that replay.
That was, I mean, the best way to start a map 2, right? We're talking about the confidence, the double duelist matchup. Oh, it's beautiful to watch back.
Magic. Absolute magic.
That's probably how you want your Yoru to start in round 1, to be honest.
You kind of said it, right? Get those head-to-heads going. We've got some big matchups here between these two. And if that's the sort of tempo, if that's the sort of level we get, this is going to be an outstanding game.
The stage is set for Miniboo, right? There's your benchmark.
Go get it.
Whether or not you can find a response here. Obviously, Vandal purchased in round 2 for Kayak. Orb retrieved, 1 away from the ultimate now. So a huge ult for Fnatic to have in the back pocket here to kick off the first couple of rounds here on Haven.
And look, 1 away from ult too. That's so nearby for Kayak. You couldn't, as you said, you couldn't ask for a better beginning. Now, obviously on the other side, brutal to try and work against an Alpha. Fancies a little bit of time in the sun, but Boo's locked in today. Like, he's actually firing back here, but Fnatic, the cavalry have arrived. So now just Benji left alive, and not for long. So, as it stands, Fnatic make it past the second round. Just going to collect all the goodies, make sure none of that slips away, and they walk away with a 2-0 start.
And 3 survive as well, so able to maintain the early momentum. 7-1. Coming into round 3.
Ult there.
A huge opportunity to potentially isolate a player or 2 on the back of the ultimate if they want to try and use Kayak's ultimate aggressively. He might even explore towards mid. You got a bank on Heretics, probably anticipating it. Alpha, though, kept in check, down to 67 HP.
But they got to be ready for sewers. All right, there's been some problems down there. You know what I mean? We don't pre-fire that now. So Alpha cops a whole load of damage, down to 67. But it's just a pause for Heretics here. Maybe looking to see if there will be that reaction from that ult. But you're looking at Kayak, he's already got himself tucked into the cubby over towards B. Crashies doesn't quite get the corner.
Yeah.
Don't think he made it around there.
And vice versa.
Kayak gets it.
No ping on the minimap, so
No. Just
curious.
missing.
Yeah, curious as to whether or not the awareness is still there.
Kayak's on the right side, though. Made it up on over towards the A side of the map, and this silence, unchecked, unfazed so far. Both trying to get out of there. Does do so. Love this backfill from Crashies as well. Someone needs to deal with the dart for him. They've done so. Smoke goes up towards heaven. They're starting to feel a bit labored here from Heretics. It's starting to be held to the door, but it still plays in Crashies. Keep this in mind. They have no idea. It's a lazy check. A look, a glance towards it, but still Woot powers on. Clears sight until Kayak. Good trade for Boo. Good spacing. But does he identify where Chronicle is? Oh, he certainly does now.
Smoke drops perfectly for Boo to spot him out.
Nice quick plant there.
Oh, it's awkward, really awkward, but Boo clutches it out. Finds Heretics their first round. And yeah, a bit of a strange engagement initially there. Fnatic almost look as if they're about to dig their heels in and lock down A site, but yeah, flash comes through. Boso, I guess, feels as if he's forced to commit towards that opening peak, but with Crashies in that position, you could argue he's almost played in behind default. Again, the scope maybe makes it a little more awkward for him, but
Sure. What do we have? I saw two outlaws there as well. Actually, Kron has one of them, close to the other, trying to make the most of.
Well,
you can see the light shields that are out.
yeah, I was gonna say the fact that Miniboo, Benji, and Woot. Obviously, Woot being the outlier to that, but still, light shields regardless. This makes it doable here for Boaster and Chronicle.
Now, I don't know if Kayak's gonna be able to do much about this. Miniboo did get out of garage. They've recleared it really quickly, actually. You can see them just checking through this now. Kron gonna be posted back up towards that window side, but it looks like it's this fake towards A. Force Crashies off the angle, try and put a couple of question marks, maybe pull a player or two, and it so far is causing that reaction. We can see it is going to be tailing back towards C eventually. Now with that smoke in, this is them trying to sell this A hit coming in.
CP.
Wow.
All the way towards the other side of the map, and I think now Fnatic probably know what's up. Just one trip, but nobody in a position to punish on the back of it.
30 seconds left.
Going to be wide open for the taking.
Yeah, plant in. Benji just slipping away. He was the last to evacuate from that A side, but just watching that flank, keeping a track on it. And it looks like a three-play re-push towards garage as well, which could be a problem. You're looking at who's in there. Yeah, Kayak. He was on the deeper angle of it, just didn't expect it there, and Rien's left on 5 HP. He might be screwed. Yeah, they're going to see all of this one. Chronicle makes light work of it, putting Benji the last one alive. And I think he was spotted earlier on, especially by Crashies, now 100% aware of where he is. This would need... Unbelievable! A bloody good attempt from Benji. Jesus wept, that was so close.
4 found for Benji. Still plenty of time left for the defuse here. Crashes to close out the third round for Fnatic. A sigh of relief almost. As soon as that wall passes and the sight line opens up, yes, it's the Guardian, but Benji finding everything he needed to. Tough there, I mean, especially with Rian's getting tagged down. No real comfort to reset. Yeah, Heretics forced back down to pistols, just a few sheriffs actually. Only Boo and Benji with their ultimates. And even on the other side, they've got Stinger in the hands of Boaster, so just trying to ride out the fact that Heretics are going to be down on lesser purchase. Woot.
Here.
Double tap. Finding some protection here on the way in. Benji continuing to look sharp, but the trade is good from Boaster.
Okay. We've still got Sheriff, so does Rien's. On the other side, obviously, far better equipped here. And it is quite nice seeing the, I want to say, Tier 1 teams really adopting the Outlaw more. It feels like we saw the Tier 2 teams really kind of showing off what can be done with it, and it's worth the risk of investment. Starting to see that more and more amongst the higher-end teams now. Speaking of Kayak, still patrolling over towards B. This is where they're heading. Gotta be cautious about this. As much as this is a lower end buy, that B site can be incredibly lethal. Dart just used towards sewers, clears that out. Smoke deep in towards the connector side on C. And away we go. Paranoia forces Kayak off the angle. That's good for them.
30
Should get them
seconds
at least a step towards the site now. And, well, seeing that Outlaw in play.
Spike planted.
Yeah, Minibu punished initially here. Makes things even more difficult for Heretics. Still only Sheriffs to work with, not able to pin down an upgrade. On the back of Alpha falling. Fnatic definitely biding their time, sorry.
There goes the Paranoia. Ooh, it was a bit laboured there in the end, and Rienz is going to trade it! And Boo's back on the case. Boo gets out of danger, but it should be seen. A nice reposition from him. Oh, but the shot just goes astray. Couldn't quite get it across the line in the end. Close on time, too. I feel if he got one of those kills there, could have maybe played around that tempo that was left. But Fnatic get another step in now, 4-1.
It's very unfortunate because Fnatic actually misread the TP. So if he's able to find that first freebie, certainly doable for him. Again, making something from seemingly nothing, just the Sheriffs here. Come through, find the plant, find a couple of kills to follow up on the back of Rienz and Boo. Yeah, I guess in terms of the war of attrition of that round, Fnatic still come out on top. 4-1 lead now.
All odds for Heretics.
Yeah, a stacked deck.
Who's next?
In terms of this ult cycle, there's going to be Minibu to try and pave the way here.
Careful here. It's you.
Okay,
and
there
me.
it is. There's a combo, and it's got its reward. Oh, it's got its target at the very least. Wu trying to do what he can, but sadly, that was going to be uncomfortable for him. That ult going to get burnt up with no real use to it.
Crashes from downtown with the Hunter's Fury will at least force Heretics to retreat initially.
No distraction.
That's yeah, Alpha.
Now he's got a real one.
Yeah. Oh, but actually, Minibu.
Minibu wins that? Because like we've been starting to see that clone work happening more and more, which is kind of sick, but I did not expect to see Minibu winning that 1v1 up against Alpha, but both are trying to pave the way back through. This is getting real topsy-turvy here.
Yeah,
Plant going to be going
Benji's-
in towards A.
I was just about to say Benji's lurk has actually opened a lot of space here. Ooh, got to be careful. Kayak does actually spot him on the cross back over.
Here.
Spike planted.
And actually does, yeah, on the second tap finds it. Woot will forward, now a 3v3.
They bring it back to a manageable scenario, but they got to get moving, right? You look at the time, you look at the positions. This is not going to be easy. Rien's trying to control towards long. His timing is
Kayak.
excellent. Catching Kayak just in between ideas. And now Crash is trying to play in Boaster potentially. They talk about their 2v3s. This one is going to be hard. But Boaster tries to take the isolated fight, doesn't get it. Rienz is rewarded as Crashies now just has to bow out of this round.
Yeah. Heretics going to be able to hold on to 3 rifles as well. An awkward opening here is, again, if Benji isn't as deep as he is, I didn't really see what happened for him in the early round either. If it's just a straight walk up mid, but kind of seals the deal for Heretics. Again, Fnatic made a good go of things. Obviously, the initial kill from Kayak to get things going. See Rian shutting down. Yeah, Minibu winning out
Look,
is a huge factor for Heretics.
this coach once told me Alpha never loses those.
Really?
We've determined it was a lie.
Okay.
We've determined that. We've
we
taken
get
our
that
time.
on
Thank you for the replay.
Can we get that on a ticker above the scoreboard?
Yeah, mini analysis 0-1 so far. Ignore all the previous stats. 0-1. Poor old Coach Mini. Probably fighting for his life in Sliggy's chat. But looking at this buy, Frenzy, Sheriff, Classic, Guardian, and a Vandal. A little bit all over the shop.
We love a frenzy spray. It wasn't even a spray. You can't
No.
even fault him for it.
No.
All that damage and Benji's still at 45.
Yeah.
I got the spike.
Big upgrade for Mini Boot. Finding Crashies. A 3v5 now for Fnatic. And only the one rifle in the form of the Guardian for Kayak as well. Looking like Heretics will find their third. I don't necessarily want to say, well, actually, I'm pretty comfortable behind this. I was going to say, 1 or 2 members of Heretics can afford to seal the deal here. But again, with Chronicle down on a Classic and Kayak on a Sheriff, no real motivation for it.
Nope.
Can't argue with that.
Closing it out. Yeah, fair play. Righty. So as it stands, got a little bit of a turnaround here, don't we? It's too early for me to start telling the stories about it, but so far Fnatic have been the roll's been slowed down, right? Because they've built up a good amount of bank, which still should get them a good buy here. I don't think there'll be an issue in that regard.
Oh, it looked worse in slow-mo, sorry.
Did we get the replay?
We ran it in slow-mo.
That's unpleasant.
I almost would have preferred to see a player cam react actually there.
Really?
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Seeing the slow-mo, surely.
I don't know. Just the face going, oh. It's all right. He's gone from a frenzy to an operator. He's gone, guys, I need a little confidence here. And he's good with this. He's normally been pretty solid. I can't actually fault him for it. I've been doubting it in the past. But you can see how hard it is to implement this up against an ISO shield coming in. You've got Heretics now running through the site. Just, again, and when you're Boaster and you've got that operator, you're probably already looking for a save here. What motivation do you have to go for this? That's a prized possession now. If Crashies and Kron can get something going, sure, but the odds are awful.
I think it really relies on, like you said, Crashies or Chronicle to find the opener. But doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Heretics happy to tuck in, nobody going out hunting. I think now probably realizing that, but Chronicle consolation at least. As I said in the previous, can afford to throw a few bodies on the line, but probably no more than that now. Okay.
Easy, Tiger. Yeah, well, I gotta say again, great call coming out from Heretics, because it's brutal to try and hold that B side, even with the operator, right? Let's say you're there, when you've got that ISO shield just to be able to trail up with,
exactly, yeah.
You're out of the round. It's such a good read, because it's not the first time we've seen Boaster playing that sort of position on B, right? It feels quite common now. If it's available, maybe they run it, maybe they don't, but fantastic read from Heretics to kind of pull the trigger on that approach.
I guess on the other side of that as well, when Mini Boo's finding an opener like that, all the way into A-Link. It's not even the B player that feels the pressure.
Yeah.
It's the second or third peak potentially onto trying to slow things down. Boaster curious once again. I think now probably noted as well. They're almost anticipating this operator to be in the hands of Boaster and be on this side. Yeah, we're
like
happy
that, though.
to. Yeah.
I liked what he was trying to do, go for that secondary player, trying to ignore the shield, but you can't really ignore it in the hands of Woot. Already clearing out Alpha from the site. Down again here. Forcing the ults from both sides. Here we go. This is about to get chaotic.
A ton of information gathered on the side of both, and actually Mini Boo shut down by Chronicle.
Yeah, but Boaster's just been dropped by Benji, so kind of a back and forth there. Kayak tries to isolate one. It's not going to go well against Woot. Digs his heels in towards the back of the site. It's Crashies trying to do anything here. Trailblaze his way forward. It's a valiant attempt, but it goes really only so far. Woot is really where this started and ended, it felt like. Cleared that corner well. Boaster found very little impact. A nice attempt, sure. But again, still able to hold this down, clearing out Alpha, clearing out all of these kills. And Chronicle, once again, just left to rot, really.
Yeah, you got to watch this one conclude. Rians. Yeah. Rians.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I thought maybe he was going to die. I didn't even spot the cage still there. Coming to a soundboard near you.
Yeah, no, literally, I was about to say, someone clip it. Someone clip it for me.
That'll be on Mitch Man's Go XLR before the end of the week.
Mitch is chuckling. I can hear it. I can hear his little giggle. Just... Right, time out. Fnatic. They've now had 4 rounds presented to them by Heretics. And it's been pretty impressive, to be fair. Very good reads again. And I think we've been complimenting, obviously, Boaster leading up to this point about his IGLing and kind of how well he's been doing that. Boo on the other side. also calling very well. I love how they've been very heads up about this, and especially if you're playing this comp against the people who kind of came into this with it. But it feels tailor-made. It feels like they're very aware of how Fnatic like to approach this map themselves.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, other than maybe a flash in the pan with Kayak off to a flying start, not as if they really could ride that momentum. And actually, it's Heretics to convert 4 post plants as well on the back of that. So kind of having a free run of things. Well, Fnatic are going to adjust now and maybe play a little more aggressive again with the double duelist. I don't want to say you're forced to, but it certainly feels as if you have the opportunity to justify it way more comfortably. But again, on Haven, it's always that question, right? You can pivot so quickly to another site on the back of, you know, a Yoru potentially, or even Alert coming through. We've seen Benji find value in previous rounds. It's not as clear cut as just being, you know, identifying where you want to pressure and play into.
Here.
4-1. Wow. Yeah, 4-1, I guess.
Yeah, it almost just looks like almost one of those kind of sponge retake setups towards C on the back of Chronicle, maybe the TP. You see actually the ping coming out exactly where the reposition comes from Kayak.
Oh, Lord, Kayak. Okay, the paranoia just fades away before it reaches him. He's trying to be a bit cheeky about it, and I like it. Gonna make an attempt at something. Heretics probably feeling they have some security here. Bye-bye. But that's a player noted now. Paranoia sent in from afar, but no ability to get anything from it. The swing from the smoke is rewarded. And how did Miniboo go from left to right so quickly? He got one backside by Plat and then towards CT. I do want to see that one back. And you're right, it's just Benji ratting away.
Oh no!
Hello, hello, Boaster. Hello. This is look. Heretics are so in control, man. Like,
They are.
They've watched Fnatic here. I mean, it feels like you could watch half of the EMEA teams and get a good idea of what's being tried to be attempted. I mean, Heretics run the same comp, but it's all those little nuanced pieces, all those little looks that Heretics seem so aware of. Just the positioning's fantastic, and they're in control right now. I'd love to see Fnatic try and turn this around to gap close, but this feels a little bit reminiscent of Lotus when it started to move away from Fnatic.
It's very rare you do see a team kind of, I guess, stabilize and nullify any threat in the mid-round versus Boaster or Fnatic in general. You got to give credit to Heretics in that regard. Now they look at, I mean, they have a huge cushion. 6-4 the scoreline. Look at the funds for Heretics starting to swell. And G trying to get a little cheeky. Probably the only one that's struggling financially, but he is top of the board.
And speaking of the board, Mike, and I don't normally talk about it when it comes
weird.
to it.
It's weird.
It is weird, but
yeah.
I'm looking at Fnatic's side, and it's a map that traditionally, in my eyes, yeah, look at oh, okay, it was just straight through the smoke as well. I was wondering how he got that secondary kill, but still, Alpha at the bottom here, he's only got 3 kills so far. This is probably one of the quieter performances I've actually seen from him in this map. He's been one of the great series, made that ISO look fantastic.
Music back to the Vitality series.
Yeah, yes, totally different. Again, being able to kind of keep him in a box, play away from him, has been impressive. Speaking of Alpha as well, it looks like he wants to try and instigate something for himself.
Not going to be rewarded initially. Can hear obviously the cam's position, so there's going to be that hesitation or caution shown.
Breaking down.
So you're giving a sound cue on the other side of the map as well.
Benji spot.
Yeah. I mean, he's just got to be hard cleared from now on, surely.
Not again, 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 not again. No, no.
Again.
No.
Again!
No! Oh man, Poster, he's gonna be seething about that one. And Boo there even to get Alpha down. Even though Kayak got the kill on... Oh, wow. Look at this advantage. 5v3 already. Sight under their control. Fnatic, yeah, they got a bit of support from CT, but it's shot through smokes, keeping them alive. That's what they can bank on, really. Kayak and Kron are gonna have to go above and beyond. What are you meant to do here? Miniboo's already got this corner sorted. I don't know how you gap close past this.
Feels another one that Fnatic going to force a save potentially. Been so many of these examples. I think that's why you see it at Heretics with a 2-round lead and 4 out of the 5 members of Heretics negative KD.
Yeah.
Fnatic just don't really have a say in a lot of these rounds, concluded before they can really put something in motion. And it's, I mean, credit to Benji in that regard, right? He's finding kills that are very off-kilter in terms of the nature of how we see Fnatic perform previously.
Yeah, true.
Again, limiting the options, really. Now it's going to feel very awkward for Fnatic to commit towards clearing mid ahead of a site hit coming through.
Yep. It's all just starting to add up against them. 4 rounds is workable. I just feel like you need just to break the trend. It feels like a drought, doesn't it? And the finance is still rotten.
Let's just have a quick look back, and obviously Fnatic sitting 3-0. Their favoured side has been the attack, but I gotta say, 8-4 just never feels good, especially when it's rounds like this where we're seeing them, dare I say, outclassed in a lot of regards.
Yeah, Crashy's hoping for something to land there. Rien's is a bit lower, I guess. Miniboo taking a touch of damage as well, but it's not much. Boaster, put that barrel away. Betrayed you last time in Garage. God, I need him to not have a nightmare of a round.
I guess it comes back to that same discussion. Obviously, crediting Boaster looking the best individual we have seen, and now it kind of casts a shadow on that map 1 performance. You could say, obviously, still delivering as an IGL, and the mid-rounding looking great for Fnatic, but now the concerns continue if you can't get the ball rolling, numerically at least. Heretics now poised towards an A site hit.
Destabilizing. No distraction.
We'll throw it out. Catches Crashies.
Yeah, clean
And
with
wins
it.
out.
30 seconds
Yeah, he's
left.
doing his job here, Woo. Kayak tries to make a hero play through the smoke, and now
down
Boaster, not again.
It's Benji again as well.
And he gets his ult for a 2. Alpha and Kron in a 2v3. Good information, though, on the side of Heretics. So Alpha's shield going to be forced away. Back himself away here, as it's all on him. So much for him to try and achieve, to try and pry these 3 players out of position. Hard angles to clear this crossfire setup. Does catch at least Miniboo for a moment, but it's only a moment as Heretics make it up to 8-4. Mike, it feels like Fnatic are dropping the ball here.
Yeah, and I think as well, thinking back to the previous results, a 3-9 defensive half versus Vitality, they did bounce back to a 13-10, but this one feels pretty awkward, Lauren.
Certainly does. We'll be back in just a moment.
Görev tamamlandı.
Spike A'da. Enemy remains.
My ult ready.
Well, it was an astounding turn of events towards the end there. That 6th round and onward, Mike, it felt like Heretics couldn't put a step wrong. Everything lining up for them. And where was the reaction from Fnatic?
I mean, look at the timeline. The amount of success they found in the post plant. and there just wasn't really, I don't even want to say you didn't see the adjustment from Fnatic, because players were falling way ahead of the fact. It wasn't as if they could even get themselves into a position to formulate some type of retake. I mean, Boaster falling in a couple of weird scenarios before the spike's even planted. Can't get, no smokes and no paranoia in the retake. It's just awkward, and it's not something we're used to seeing Fnatic have to overcome.
And that's where I think I agree with you. It's the surprise to see it in this sort of position, but it is what it is. Heretics looking the closer to form here, and what a message to send to do it on Haven if they can. Still an opportunity now, but look at the proactive approach here. I think Crashies is aware of this. You look at his pathing, he's got to know something's going on.
The Charles Mini Boo on the other side. He will get immediately overwhelmed.
Don't let it go too far, do they? Instantaneous reaction. A lot of players spotted though on this flank, but it's a good idea. It's the right idea, but Alpha this time ready. Sheriff in hand and locked in. Boo. The timing this side on Chronicle's side. Boo goes down. And now the rest of the retake looks a little light here as Boaster going to be rewarded. Taking down his nemesis, Benji. And just one left alive really to handle is now Mini Boo. And there it is. Chronicle claims it, and it's a safe start for Fnatic.
Much needed, maybe a course correction here on the back of the pistol. They can convert round 2. Yeah, I mean, great isolation on Crashies, but almost at that point he can relay all that information. And what's important is Wu is double faced. There's no chance for him to find any success on long. Actually, even Chronicle finding the wallbang as well. I believe actually down to 5 HP in Heaven, but... So yeah, obviously, I mean, conversely to what I was saying, the first half Fnatic do have a 64% win rate on the attacking side, and most notably being obviously flipping the Vitality series, map here on Haven. Again, that string of rounds. So it doesn't make you feel as if it's a guarantee, right? It's not a given.
No. Patience being shown. Fnatic's tempo, look, they've really slowed things down here, it feels like. Yeah, obviously the statistics in the first map of Lotus kind of highlighting how tempered they play these days, but you can see the caution being displayed, and rightly so. Little high-low set here between Woot and Benji. Could be rewarded, but the dart gonna have to be dealt with by one. Away we go. Shield gone. Oh my god, they got 2. 1's fine, 2's outrageous. Woot's gonna try and make a quick escape here, but they've held off the hit.
Yeah, and a man to the good as well. We'll try and police that weapon back. We'll be able to get it into the hands of Chronicle. Certainly feeling a little more
30 seconds left.
awkward now. And never feels comfortable walking into B late round. 20 seconds left. Luckily, nobody from Heretics on the other side of this.
Yeah, it does feel like just fortune is on their side, at least in this moment, because those corners feel so threatening. But the plant's going to come down. Boaster pops it into place.
10 seconds left.
Still a number disadvantage,
Spike
though.
planted.
So if Heretics can try and fashion something together to cause those problems, deny those trades, we'll see. Trying to maybe daisy chain those smokes in, but what a shot. With Crashies falling, now they can't secure both sides. You can see the discomfort. Chronicle's gone down. How the hell is Boast the last one alive as Boo sidesteps around him and the disaster strikes Mike? This was never meant to be the round.
What's the haymaker here from Heretics?
Thirsty.
Catching Fnatic off guard. A pay safe card, thrifty nonetheless. To get 9 on the board and strip away any early advantage that Fnatic could try to build on the back of the pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful conversion here. The high-low setup on C, but Mini Boo. Sorry, the second was a headshot as well.
How's he getting that? How is he getting that?
I need a drop.
I mean, just a tilter of a round, to be honest with you.
Yes. And it's such a key point as well, such a pivotal moment. To have that upswing, to have that just fall into their lap. Well, Fnatic in the past have had their heroes. They've had their players step up to save the day, but right now no one is here to help, it looks like. Mini Boo, Woot in control, no access.
We'll see one of the weapons removed. No, Crash is able to retrieve it at least. Nicely placed on the windowsill, but Miniboo elsewhere has removed the other rifle. Alpha will fall. Spike now down in mid. Chronicle has to make his way across, but only a classic in his hands.
Treacherous. It's just brutal to have to go and do this walk, right?
Scanning ahead.
Okay, trying to feign this attention towards C, but I mean, they've got so many bodies, they don't have to
Need
be
a
too
kill.
worried yet. Yeah, absolutely. Hell, they need 2 at this point, but that's a step heard.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get a chance to find one, to be honest with you. Miniboo, yeah, primed.
Standing.
Degree crashes.
No hard feelings.
30
I mean,
seconds left.
I'm gonna say Miniboo is. It just feels like he's just having a. He's built different at times. You give him like an outlaw or a marshal, he's gonna get you a couple of kills here. Kron, yeah, there's no way around. Benji's like, hey, no, go ahead, try to get to the site.
He's in the top of the cage.
Hello there. Mate, 5-10. How are we here? I want to see this from Miniboo's side. Yeah, look at this. I feel like I just want to watch his whole side. Just like the whole time.
You're done.
Yeah, really comfortable. On the Yoru, again, no surprises really. We'll see, I don't see anything up on screen, but the time is not moving. I'm guessing it's attack. There's some music. Tiempo Muerto, okay.
Yeah. We're fine. We're fine. I feel like I have PTSD when it comes to pauses.
I do. When there's no music playing,
Nah.
I'm like they're trying to get something ready.
Mike, I can't watch Americas because they obviously have like half the stage go red sometimes for
Dude,
like the team.
it's just
I'm
yeah.
suddenly going, America's got tech.
Well, you just immediately
it's
put
not.
colorblind mode on your monitor whenever you watch Americas.
It might help. It might help me.
Well,
I see what you're doing, observers. By the way, I see you.
yes, I see it. I see it.
Okay.
Speaking of help,
Get me some. I mean,
Yeah,
get
whether or
Fnatic
not-
some. Where are we going?
whether or not Fnatic are going to be able to get any help from the coaching staff yet. Again,
What,
it's
just
got to.
ever?
Well, I mean, just now with a disheartening start
Yeah.
to the second half,
Brutal.
being stripped away in round 2. And again, they're now in a really awkward position where they concede this, they're broke. Heretics on 11. You got to argue. Then they win the anti-eco. They're on map and series point.
And again, the gravitas of this matchup can't be understated. Yes, it all close stuff. Bloody heck. Unconfirmed amounts of damage,
Yeah.
but it's there. The fact is it puts you 1 win away from getting into
Yeah,
Toronto.
which for both of these teams, absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's gold dust, right? And so for Fnatic, it's time to really buckle down here. You've got to be absolutely ready for this. If you want a chance to go into those big global events, there is no ability to be cautious anymore or, hold anything back. This is a huge opportunity. We've seen giants already fall in the form of EDG not making it out there, upsets in Americas as well. Playoffs is not for the weak-willed. It's brutal. So a huge boon to either side. And as it stands, Heretics digging deeper here. Map to the good before. Lotus in their side. Here, 5-round advantage. And now they have to try and figure this one out.
There's going to be Boo to try and I guess slow things down. It actually does isolate Kayak. Crash is good for the trade. You see on the minimap, the rest of Heretics a million miles away from this.
First time we get to see this tested. And something I do want to credit as well is how good Heretics are at pressuring these kind of backlines. Even if they don't fully commit to it, they'll normally kind of break the backline pressure, force a player to look away, hit that quick rotate, which we're seeing here. It's wonderful to witness, but Crashy's position might be a checkmate on this. It is! Root's been caught trying to play into the smoke. He's got them at least a man advantage, which is huge here. Alpha tries to focus in, but too many targets. How's Benji got 2? How's he got Crashy's Amboster there? Oh, dearie me, Benji. Starting to come online here. Defuse to be completed by Miniboo. Got a bit close there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
Oh, good.
Again, my
But
VMix
fun,
levels aren't high enough to hear this
I got a little bit nervous.
clear enough, but regardless, 11 on the board now. And yeah, that advantage created by Crashies immediately stripped away. It almost seems a little overzealous for Boo to commit to that.
One enemy.
But even then,
Remaining.
Fnatic get the follow-up victory. Like I said, on the back of Crashies, yeah, I mean, oh, the timing.
Wow.
I mean, Boasters basically just
Deploying drone.
20 HP, I believe, so it's rough. Crash is going to
Tag.
try and find the opener here, but he actually will convert on the second blind, and Kayak doubles down.
Hey, look, Fnatic need a miracle. That might be the start of it. Plant could be coming up next, but now we are into a 5v3. And Miniboo's still got that Outlaw. Great initially, not great in a retake. Brutal to try and bring it back through towards this site. This should not be a round that Fnatic ever lose. Even with the weaponry disadvantage in certain areas, this just should not go wrong.
Oh, no, Benji.
Oh, Benji, you're nasty with it. Kron's got a swing.
Oh, no.
No way, no. Miniboo's gonna do so. Oh my god, no! This is not it! This is not it! It's done! Get me out of here! Someone help me! And Woo's just gonna do a dirty. Kayak goes down. That should never have happened. Benji's back, baby.
On like a 15-second swing, by the way. He just kept swinging wider and wider.
I ain't stopping. He's just never. What the hell was that?
Yeah, that's the disrespect of that is just outrageous.
Holy.
Then doubles down on Kron.
Like, he's so calm. He's so calm. I'm not calm. I'm nervous. And of course there's like, so with an Outlaw just falling out of window. It's 12 rounds. Heretics. I mean, they are elevating every step of the way, and it's a brutal beginning, back and forth until then. Boo tips the favor into their hands. Ult gonna come in. Let's see if those stats still hold for Alpha. They could do with it right now. Rien's on the run, but Alpha does win. Bring it back to this 3v3, but Miniboo in the backlines! Almost got all three of them. Putting it all in the hands of Chronicle now. He needs the 1v2. Benji going around the world if he needs to. That spike's still down at long, and a minute to play with.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not he could see it, but so the cage going to obscure his vision regardless. I think maybe just behind the wall, but regardless, the cage will give away Chronicle's position. Utility littered across the map, so Benji could almost just stack towards Boo. But ultimately, will sit in the camp. He can't be pushed from either direction.
He's got this map on lock. Every access point he will know about. Here it is, the first signal. And they have no idea. Benji with an outstanding performance throughout this map, but Heretics in general, 13-5, Mike, on a map like this, it sends a message.
Benji just coming alive, as you said. Rumor has it he's still swinging Crashies, by the way. That is just like heartbreak to see. And that's after Fnatic find a massive way into that round.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, probably a bitter pill to swallow on the side of Fnatic, because you bow out 13-5 here on the second map, and it's a huge advantage. Not necessarily to fumble, but to almost watch pass you by going into playoffs.
Yeah, and it is that advantage that goes forward. Heretics now only one game away from securing their position in Toronto, right? Getting to Masters. That's the big goal here for both of these teams. They're heavy hitters. There's a reason this game was on so many people's radar. They wanted to see what these two would do to each other. The best in 2023 up against the best in 2024. And today, it's Heretics' time to shine. A fantastic series overall. But it does beg the question. Fnatic need to reinvent themselves a little here, Mike, because it felt like they hit a wall.
Yeah, and I think we saw examples on map one of Fnatic looking really comfortable in terms of playing reactively and leaning into, I guess, the mid-rounding that they've said has been working so well for them. But Heretics, man, they came well prepped. Miniboo having a fantastic series. Alongside that, Woot and Rien's, but then Benji sealing the deal in map 2.
If Benji's back, if he is back in form, it's a different team. However, today we have a treat for you in the post plant. It'll be Kakuka with Ulysses, joined by Miniboo and Rien's. Let's head over there now.